You are about to view the video podcast for Center for Spiritual Living. If you find value in what you receive here, consider supporting us by clicking the Contribute button now. And know that all that you give to CSL returns right back to your life, multiplied abundantly. Blessings.
We have core values that this community has created. They're the things that we talk about every Sunday and the places from which we live. So our core values are love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. And today we're talking about the core value of love. Now, love is very confusing sometimes. We are love. And so one cannot be without love, but we spend a lot of time looking for love in all the wrong places, right? Instead of inside of ourselves. So we had a wonderful experience yesterday. We had a group from CSL go out to the AIDS walk and our group was called the Steps of Love. And we were supporting AHF, which is the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. It's a global nonprofit organization providing cutting-edge medicine and advocacy for over 1 million people in 43 countries. They are currently the largest provider of HIV/AIDS medical care in the U.S. Now, we know the way that we keep, yes, absolutely. And the only way to keep that love that is in every cell of your body flowing is to serve. And to serve in a way of things that matter to you, to share the amazement of you, and then recognize that that's where the love that you're looking for in all the wrong places starts to be, oh, it's been in me all the time. So I want to celebrate and thank all the folks that came out to be on our Steps of Love. Narissa Street was the co-leader, and we saw other CSL people on other teams. So if you walked yesterday, if you just stand up and let us give you a hand for being the love that you are. Thank you. There were no shy people. We had videos taken of us. We're all, we were on it. So thank you. And we could feel when we finished, we went, that is within me got stirred and moved. And I feel like I am more loved than I was when I started, just from my own consciousness. So I invite us in living this core power, this core value, to get engaged with the things that matter to you in life. There's nothing missing. There's no love ever missing. And the way you know it is to get involved. And then like Glenda to Dorothy, you've had the power in you all along, my dear. All right, love is one of our core values, and so it is.
Keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again of who I am, because I need to know. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. You say I am loved, but I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I'm feeling weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short. When I don't belong, you say I'm yours, and I believe. Yes, I believe what you say to me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have now and I'm laying at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I am feeling weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short. When I don't belong, you say I'm yours, and I believe. I believe. Oh, and I believe. Oh, I believe. Oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe. Yes, I believe.
She's so happy with herself. I was deeply saddened this week to hear about the loss of a young girl, 19 years old, named Sydney Aiello. Sydney was a Parkland school shooting survivor. At 19 years old, she took her own life a couple of days ago as a victim of post-traumatic stress disorder, survivor's guilt. And it seems to make our lesson today even more relevant with this kind of loss, because today I am proposing bold and sweeping change to the way we educate our children. Listen up and see if you agree. I think in addition to reading, writing, and arithmetic, there ought to be some sort of mind-body connection. Class 1. So let's start with the obvious with children. Class 1, your body and owner's manual. I think boys and girls should be separated from each other and taught about their bodies by the time they enter first grade. I think they should be taken into a schoolroom where one wall is mirrored and lined up in front of it and told, this is your body. When you look at the other boys and girls, you'll see that no two bodies are alike. Your body is shaped differently than theirs. It will always be that way. No one has a better shape or a worse shape. They're all good. And then I think we ought to teach our kids what happens when you put alcohol in your body, what happens when you put drugs in your body, what happens to your brain, and this is what happens to your body's immune system when you eat junk food all day. And then right after they go through puberty, I think they need to be separated again, and the lesson needs to be followed up with class 2, your maturing body. Somebody needs to tell boys what's happening in their bodies when testosterone starts to rage through their system. Somebody needs to teach girls there's no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed about any part of your body. What is happening to you is a natural process designed by Mother Nature herself. And I think if we did this, maybe boys and girls would grow up loving their bodies instead of hating their bodies and thinking they're not good enough. Maybe there'd be less shame about their sexuality and orientation if we could get them while they're young, when their body image is just being formed and their self-esteem is growing. Maybe we could rid the world of anorexia and bulimia and body dysmorphia. Wouldn't that be great? A generation of people who actually felt comfortable inside their own bodies. And then we need to balance the education of their bodies with education of the mind. Here's the class: Your Mind and How to Use It, Lesson 1. Passing through your mind are thoughts. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. There are fearful thoughts, there are courageous thoughts, there are hateful thoughts, there are loving thoughts. You are not the thought. You are the mind thinking the thought. Lesson 2. What thoughts you entertain will manifest. So be careful which thoughts you let enter your mind and remain there. They will take shape and form through a process. Your thoughts go out from you and gather the resources necessary to manifest, then return back to you as the very thing that you've been thinking about. We don't know how that happens, but we know that it does. So choose very carefully what you think. Just like toxic chemicals will harm your body, toxic thoughts will hurt your spirit. Lesson 3, feelings. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Feelings. To balance your thinking mind, nature has given you a feeling heart. You are, in truth, a thinking, feeling being. Sometimes you feel happy, other times you feel sad. Sometimes you feel discouraged, upset, or angry. Sometimes you just don't care. They are just feelings. They aren't who you are, they're how you feel. All of them will pass. You are not your feelings. Remember that when you're frightened, when you are afraid, you are the feeler feeling the feeling. Now, I wonder what kind of adults our children might grow up to be if we taught this mind-body curriculum. If we began to separate their spirit from the body it occupies and the mind it uses to create. I wonder what powerful women might be in the world and self-confident men walking around out there. Maybe, just maybe, we could have avoided what happened in the 70s. Millennials, be glad you missed this. The 60s and 70s were not as glamorous as your parents told you. For those of you old enough, women, you might remember one of the popular workshops of the day. Fully grown women with mirrors in hand being introduced to their vaginas. It is astonishing that women knew so little about their own bodies that they actually had to be introduced to their own genitalia. Don't gasp because I used the V word. It's not a dirty word. And besides, if they can say it on TV, then I can say it here. But if you are here for the very first time today and that was offensive to you, I'm sorry. Really, I am. One of my coaching clients said to me the other day, Dr. Chris, I just love you. You're the most irreverent reverend I know. You teeter-totter between the profane and the profound. I said, what's the percentage? She goes, don't ask. I'm hoping for 50-50. In our book of the month, The Power of You, which was written by the teeter-totterer, he wrote this: "You have at your command the greatest power known to man, and how you choose to use it determines everything in your life." We need mind-body education for our children. Don't you agree? And since most of us didn't get it as kids, we have to educate ourselves now as adults. And that is what this teaching is all about. We offer specific tools that you can use to move out of being a passive victim in this life, waking up each day in fear, wondering what the hell is going to happen to me today. We can move you from that to being a powerful victor and a co-creator of the life you only dream is possible, but it's the life you deserve to live. We can help you heal your broken heart. We can teach you how to let go of resentment. We can show you how to overcome adversity and break free from your past limitations. And let me tell you something, all of that is possible, but none of it can happen unless you take control of the greatest asset you possess in your life, your mind. Your mind. Our saving grace is something our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, wrote almost 100 years ago. He said, "What thought has done, thought can undo." The mental patterns laid down in your subconscious, get this, can be consciously removed. And I said, well, thank God for that. It's nice to know if you're screwed up, you can get unscrewed. That I can, by conscious choice, by me choosing consciously, remove those false ideas from my thought and from my experience. You know, we've got to get over this idea that we are damaged goods, that somehow we're not good enough. That is the core issue for so many people trying to create lives that work. They don't believe they're good enough. And whoever told you that didn't know the truth about you. They just didn't. But that doesn't matter. What matters is you unfortunately believed it. And then you continue to reinforce that belief with your own thought, and then you continue to create some experience to validate that belief, like a friend who betrays you, or a lover who cheats on you, or a boss that treats you like crap. And then that reinforces your belief that you're not good enough, because now you have evidence of it. And so you believe it even more, and then that causes a new experience, and the cycle repeats itself to ad nauseum until people die of boredom. Most people are completely unaware and unconscious as to why they keep repeating the same negative experience over and over again. They just can't figure out, how is it that I quit a job with a nasty, mean boss, and I went and got another job, and the boss is the same. It's just a different name. He's a jerk too. I have a friend who honestly is totally bewildered by the fact that he can't keep a girlfriend. All is well for him for about a month, and I've seen him repeat this cycle month after month after month, and every single one of the women dump him after about 1 month. And this has happened 3 times in the last year already. So he says to me, why does this keep happening to me? We learn from repetition, you know. That's why we keep repeating the same patterns of experience. And I want to tell my friend who complains about the women, oh, it's the quality of women out there. You know, women aren't blah, 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 blah. And I want to say, dude, it's not the women, it's you. It's you. It's not the women you're dating. Stop wasting your time trying to find another woman. And take some time to understand the value of who you are and what you bring to the table. And once you're clear on that, crystal clear on that, then enter into the dating pool again. And remember, when you get in the dating pool, people have been peeing in that pool for a long time. I'm going to get emails this week. I know I am. What thought has done, thought can undo. Thank you, Jesus. That means that there is a way out of any trouble you can get yourself into. You can think your way out of it. And that's what Science of Mind is all about, changing the way we think. You know, I'm a deep studier of this teaching and have been for over 30 years. And one of my favorite old school New Thought teachers is a man by the name of Emmett Fox. And he had some good advice when it comes to how to use your mind correctly. He said this: don't think about the problem, think about God. Now, that word, God, can bring up negative feelings for some people, especially if you've been abused by religions in the past, as I was. So when I entered into this teaching, I like to replace that word with other things. For instance, don't think about the problem, think about the solution. Because that's what God really is anyway. It's the solution to every problem. It's the healing of every disease. So don't think about what you hate. Think about what you love. Because what you think about comes about. So if you're always thinking about, always talking about, always looking at what you hate, guess what you will get more of? What you hate, what makes you angry, what upsets you, what is injustice, and what needs to be corrected. I want you to remember this when you're scrolling through your news feed on social media or constantly finding yourself absolutely outraged by the news report of the day. Don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you do. This is how your mind was designed by its creator to be used. It is to be used as a tool to focus creative power. And wherever you are focusing is what is being created for you. That's what thoughts repeated do. They form belief patterns in your mind, which then cause your experience. That's why Emmett Fox's advice is so profound, it is so simple, it is so clear, it is so easy to talk about, and it is really hard to practice. Really, really hard. Personal experience. One of the hardest things that I have ever done in my life is to change my diet. I think most people would rather die than change their diet. And so a lot of them do. And you know, I totally get that. I have no judgment about that. I am a classic meat-eating, corn-shucking, potato-mashing Midwestern man. Left to my own devices, because I was raised this way, we would have meat and potatoes every single day for every single meal. No, I don't want any kale. When I go out to eat with Reverend Heidi, I think I'll have the kale salad. I think I'd rather die. No, I don't want any green vegetables unless you batter them and fry them up. Then I'm interested, or pour cheese all over it. And since I'm offering true confessions here this morning before it gets out publicly, I will tell you up front, there are pictures of me. There are pictures of me out in the public realm at the Iowa State Fair, me holding in my mouth a pork chop on a stick. So there it is. I've admitted it. You can Google it if you like. And yet I know nutritionally this isn't wise. I also know that with my family history of heart disease, it is just about the unhealthiest choice I could make. But when I go to the fair, I still want funnel cakes. Because, oh my God, what could go wrong when you combine grease, dough, and sugar, right? There's a little bit of heaven there, girls. I'm just saying. Grease, dough, and sugar? Yeah, I'm down for, I'll wait in line for that. And yet, through my own conscious effort and through the choices that I make every day, I eat healthy. I choose salad over fries. I choose fish over red meat. I choose not to have dessert on occasion. And through these choices, I live better and healthier. I appreciate your support, but you know as well as I do, this is not easy to do. It is hard. And that same truth applies to changing the way you think. At first, it seems really weird to have a salad over fries. At first, when you stop thinking about what you don't want and start thinking about what you do like, it seems weird and uncomfortable and odd, because you already have established patterns of negative thinking. So to change that requires conscious effort. So when I look at a menu, I have to consciously choose the salad over the fries. But here's the thing, if you keep at it, you start liking the salad, and the fries seem too greasy. I'm not eating kale. If you remain persistent, the healthier choice will become easier to make. And before you know it, you will catch yourself thinking more affirmatively. And when some naysayer comes around, as they always do, and says something stupid like, "Oh my God, life is so hard. Nobody ever seems to get ahead. And that disease that's going around and everything's horrible." When you hear that, you will catch yourself saying, "Well, that's not my experience of life." Because you have made a conscious effort to separate yourself from the masses. So don't think about the problem. Think about the solution. Change your mind and keep it changed. Set your intention to change the way you think, and I promise you, everything else in your life will change automatically to accommodate your new view. This is the beauty of a power that has no limit. Whatever your mind can conceive, wherever you focus your attention, all power resides, and anything possible can be achieved. And I really wish Sydney would have heard this lesson, because maybe it would have saved her life. And so ends the lesson. You know, to balance the power of the universe, a power that knows no end is a perfect love that has no condition. So there's a time in our lives when we have to take our power and go out there and use it. And there's a time when we have to sit in the presence of love and let it heal everything about us. This is a time in our service where we sit in the presence of love and call upon its power to heal us.
Still, I when I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
All of our lives, in some way or another, through a dysfunctional family, through friends who betrayed us, or through just the media, someone has told us in some way or another we're not good enough. And as we get older, the message is your future is getting worse. What lies ahead of you is nothing compared to what lies behind you. None of these messages are true. They are all lies that we've been told over and over and over and over again until they have assumed gigantic proportions in our mind and we make decisions from them. But today we know better. Each one of us has been handcrafted by the divine in a unique, beautiful, unrepeatable pattern in all of time and history. We are made in the image and likeness of perfection. So we're going to turn away from and stop listening to the world's message. Unlearn the wisdom of the world. We're going to close our eyes and go within and listen to the lover, the creator, the perfect life that resides within each one of us. Because its message is exactly the opposite. Be still now and see if you can hear it. Behold, I make all things new. Life is a constant spiraling upward toward a greater and a greater good. No matter what the world told you, your greatest and best days are always ahead of you. The highest possible good you can imagine, the kingdom of heaven, is at hand, friends. It's all available to you as a gift from your Creator. If you will open your mind to receive it, you'll be blessed beyond imagination. And so it is.
Stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
for tomorrow. It's time to step out on faith. I've got to show my faith. I've been elusive for so long. Freedom is mine today. Gotta step out on faith. It's time to show my faith. Procrastination held me down, but look what I have found.
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
It's been inside of me all along.
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
Oh,
Inside of me.
behind my pride that lives in me, that knows humility. Inside my voice there is a soul. In my soul there is a voice. But I've been too afraid to
Make a choice.
I'm scared of the things that might be follow. Running too fast, just stop and listen.
Faith.
It's time to go on faith. I've been elusive for so long, but freedom is mine today.
Gotta
Step out on faith. It's time to show my faith. Procrastination held me down, but look what I have found.
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
It's been inside of me all along.
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
Inside of me. Oh, yeah. Close my eyes and I think of everything I wanna see, that I wanna see. 'Cause I know now that I've opened up my heart, anything I want can be. So let it be.
So I let it be.
Let it be, yeah.
So I let it be.
Let it be.
All right, guys, come on. Let's get a hand clap right here. Come on.
So I let it be. So I let it be. I got strength, courage, and wisdom.
It's been inside of me.
All along. Strength, courage, and wisdom.
Inside of me.
It's been inside of me.
Inside of me.
All along. Strength, courage, and wisdom.
It's been inside of me.
It's been inside of me.
Oh,
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
inside of me.
Inside of me. Yeah. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Strength, courage, and wisdom.
Y'all can say it with us. Strength, courage, and wisdom.
Strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Hey, strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Strength, courage, and wisdom inside wisdom.
You know that at the end of our service, we always do our little affirmation. And if yours is like mine, it says this. Would you say it aloud with me? I use my mind to focus only on that which I seek to manifest. All right, let's know this. That we are in the presence of a power that knows no end and a love that has no condition. That it has brought us all together here today by conscious choice. because what we can be together exceeds what either of us can be apart. We are the power of God manifesting itself as CSL, the Center for Spiritual Living. And we are the individual supporters of that idea in the mind of God, and so are blessed and prospered ourselves. By conscious choice, we turn away from any lesser identity. We are not our negative thoughts. We are not our uncomfortable feelings. We are not our bodies. We are the Spirit, the essence, and the presence of God making itself known on this earth. Heaven has come to earth through each one of us. This is a truth we make manifest today and every day of our lives from this day forward. And so it is. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.